Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today we have learned some new details about the updated version of Battlefield 4's Battlelog system. If you weren't aware, DICE is really revamping Battlelog. They're trying to integrate it into the game itself more, they're making it more user-friendly, and overall just trying to enhance the experience when using their program. And one of the new features that they're going to be adding is that you can now access Battlelog inside the game itself. So no longer, if you're playing on PC, do you need to Alt-Tab to see what map your friends are playing on. No longer do you need to Alt-Tab to see how many more kills you need to get on a particular weapon to get that next unlock or that next attachment. You can now see all of this inside the game itself, which is awesome. And this is the screen that pops up. You can see how many friends you have online, you can see what map they're playing on, if they have any active missions going, and if you want to get really in-depth, you can actually view the profile of all of your squad mates. You can see how well they've been doing in the past and all of their statistics. So it's very, very in-depth. But one feature that I really like is that you can now instantly join a friend's round without having to exit your current match. So you're playing in a game, you notice a friend just got online, he joined a match, and instead of having to always quit out and then find his name going through the browser like you normally do in Battlefield 3, you just kind of find him on this new Battlelog screen, click a quick little button, and Battlelog will quickly take you to the new round, and I love that. But not only that, apparently DICE has gone in and made it more likely for you when you join on a friend to actually be placed into their squad. I don't know what it's like on console, but at least on PC, it can be kind of a hassle trying to get onto the same team if you got even more than just two people trying to play with each other. Like, you'll get placed on the other team, you'll try to switch on over, the server will auto-balance you back, you'll try to switch on over again, and it will say you've already switched too many times, wait a set period, and that never seems to go away. And it's just like, come on, like, I just want to play with my friend, I want to get the teamwork aspect of Battlefield, which is kind of the name of the game, and when the servers themselves just make it a nightmare to actually get on the same team, it can kind of be ridiculous. And so it's really good to see that. I don't know what they've done, but apparently DICE has now made it more likely for you to be placed on the same teams with your friends and also in the same squad. Another feature that's getting updated is the loadout screen, and I have a feeling that this is going to be pretty awesome for console users. Maybe not so much for PC because we already have a mouse and keyboard and we can already switch between our attachments fairly quickly, but for console users you have to use a controller, and that forces you to scroll through all of the different attachments for all the different slots, and as you guys know, in Battlefield 4 there is going to be a ridiculous amount of attachments to scroll through. So now what DICE is doing is that if you have a smartphone, you have some sort of tablet device, you can bring up Battlelog, and even if you're playing on a console, you go to the loadout screen, which we currently see right now, you change all of your different attachments, you pick the weapon that you want, you hit update, and then it updates everything in-game instantly, and then you're good to go. This was basically just kind of a quality of life change, but I think it was a necessary one, and I think for a lot of console players out there, they're really going to appreciate this. They also talk about how they have been trying to improve stat tracking. You guys know that the current Battlefield 3 system, it's alright. I mean, it gets the job done, they have some great stats in there, but if you really want to get in depth, it doesn't really supply that, and there's actually other sites out there that do a better job. They can really break it down by week, by month. If you want to track like really in-depth stats, those other sites have that. So apparently, DICE has been listening to these critiques and they've done some changes, and one of them is that they now have kind of a slider that you can move around that will show you how well you've been doing from the start of the game. So if you maybe want to see your score per minute when you first bought the game or when it first was released, you can see what your score per minute or your average score per minute was, maybe your kill-death ratio, and then you can kind of slide the bar on a timeline and see if it's going up, if it's going down, if you're improving, if you're doing better with your accuracy, a lot of different options there. So that's a nice feature. But one thing I'm not exactly sure how I feel about is that they've now changed the algorithm that determines the skill stat. I've never really been a fan of this stat to begin with because honestly, what determines someone's skill level? Is it how well they compensate for recoil? Is it their kill-death ratio? Is it how many points they get in a round? Is it their score per minute? Is it how many resupplies they give on players? I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but it really just comes down to the player themselves. Like, I may think someone's very skillful if they can get headshot after headshot with a bolt-action rifle, but someone else may say that, yeah, that's all right, but I think someone's skillful if they're able to play the objective. And DICE would agree with the latter, and so apparently the algorithm is now going to be heavily influenced by playing the objective. So if you like to capture points, you like to help out your team, your skill stat is going to be increased. So I know a lot of people out there like that, but for me personally, it's still like that stat that just kind of doesn't really mean anything. Another thing that they're going to be adding to stats is that they have a new dynamic prize system. So during a round, there is going to be 40 different stats that are going to be analyzed. And let's say you're not someone who was at the top of the scoreboard ever, but you do something very well. Maybe you're the player out there that gets the most revives. Maybe you're the guy that likes to resupply your entire team with ammunition. And if you are the best at doing that in a round, at the very end of it, it's going to give you like these mini achievements being like, hey, yep, pat on the back, you were the guy that had the most revives. Basically, what DICE is doing here is just to kind of make you feel good. Maybe you weren't the highest or the most skillful player on the team, but at least you were the best at something. It's kind of that mentality of everyone gets a trophy even if you lose, which I know some people just hate that concept, but for a lot of people, even me, like I kind of like the idea. Like if I get first place in a lot of different categories, then it'll be like, I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Or if I have a terrible round and I only get one or at least one, you know, at least I was best at something. So I think it's a nice feature. But before we move on, I quickly wanted to point out the Viking stats that we see here. So apparently he's got a kill death ratio of 0.24, a score per minute of 3,634, and a kills per minute of 0.03. This guy must be the most amazing support player in the world. He is giving everyone ammo, or either he's playing as the medic. Actually, he is playing a lot of medic. He's got one service star in there. So it looks like he just runs around all game reviving everyone, and apparently that's enough to give him a score per minute of 3,600 points. I don't know if they've increased the amount of points that you get in the upcoming game, because my score per minute currently is like 700 in Battlefield 3, and that is like nowhere near 3,600. So when I saw those stats, I got a good laugh out of that. I'm sure they were just kind of random placeholder numbers that DICE just kind of threw together. But when I saw the score per minute of 0.03, I was just like, what was that player doing? Like, it literally would take them 100 minutes to get 3 kills. Like, you could probably kill more people with a wet noodle at that point. But that is about it for all the new information that we've heard from DICE today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, are you enjoying these new features for Battlelog? Are you appreciating the direction that DICE is taking with their new system? Let me know down below in the comment section. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.